If you've been following along with this series on generational wounds, some people are saying that no contact is the problem, but no contact was never the beginning. This series was never about blaming one generation. It was never about saying every family was the same. And it was definitely not about pretending your personal experience does not matter. It was about tracing the overall pattern, what each generation inherited, what they survived, what they normalized, and what they passed down without necessarily realizing it. Because families don't break down overnight. They reveal what the problem was from the beginning, the fracture. For generations, families were taught to keep going. Do not talk about it, do not embarrass the family, be grateful, respect your elders, work harder, smile for the photo. And so much pain got buried under the word normal. But buried does not mean healed. It means waiting. Because no contact was never the first wound, it's often the final boundary. Most people do not walk away because they wanted a dramatic ending. They walk away after trying to explain, trying to be heard, after shrinking, forgiving, translating, and hoping that this last time would be different. But at some point, the body stops asking permission to survive. It finally gives in to what it already knows. And even when the boundary is right, the grief is real. No contact is not usually freedom at first. It usually starts as grief, then relief, guilt, anger, peace, and then finally, still confusion, all living in the same body. And it can get stuck there because you can miss someone and still know that they are not safe for you. You can love your family and still refuse to keep bleeding for their system. The purpose of this series was to explain that every generation had pain, but just because you have pain doesn't mean the impact of what the pain you caused doesn't count. The greatest generation was shaped by survival. The silent generation was secrecy, boomers performance, Gen X distance, millennials emotional labor, Gen Z exposure, Gen Alpha documentation, and then finally Gen Beta by the choice we are making now. Every generation had gifts. Every generation had wounds. And no generation heals by pretending only their pain counts. And that part is what matters the most. So if this series has made you feel uncomfortable, this might be your doorway to healing. If this series makes you want to defend your generation, just pause. Not because your story is wrong, but because defensiveness often guards the wound. This is not about tearing anyone down. It's about asking, what do we normalize because we had to? What do we excuse because we were too tired to try? And what do we pass on because no one taught us any other way? This is not some Disney Toy Story movie. We're not picking a villain. We are not deciding who was good and who was broken. We are looking at the whole toy box. Who got loved? Who got lost? Who got passed down? Who learned to perform fine? And who finally said, I cannot keep pretending these cracks are normal. Because healing is not about choosing the villain. It's about ending the inheritance. No contact was never the beginning. It was the moment the pattern finally met a real boundary. Now follow along for the next video because we're going to talk about why each generation thought that what they were doing was love.